Hi everybody. What I'm going to talk about today is a 1 billion USD market in UAE only, which has not been addressed in a significant way. Basically, let me start by introducing myself. I am Walid Al-Bashir. I have about 18 years experience in internet and e-business. This is my first startup, and I've been working as an entrepreneur in corporate as well as a startup. My co-founder is Abdurrahman Al-Hashmi. Abdurrahman has more than 13 years experience in collection in HSBC. He's been handling the regional collection as a regional collection manager in HSBC. And since 2011, he left HSBC to start his own debit collection agency in Abu Dhabi, which is helping banks recover their debit. And our other co-founder is Wifaq, who is taking care of the creative user experience and basically the design and the user experience. Okay. The problems we're trying to address here is a problem that everybody faces. Let me start with the story here. Normally in summer, everybody leaves for vacation, goes back to the homeland and all. And when we come back, we've got a very short time in order to address so many obligations. Schools are coming, normally people comes back a week before and so on. So you have to take the kids, go through the traffic and start shopping for stationery, for school supply, all this stuff. This is not a very pleasant experience for most of the people. This is the problem with this segment. Another problem with university students who are having a difficult time finding out their requirement for their university projects and so on. Our other segment is SMEs who are paying up to 20% more on their office supply and stationery items. Okay, so what we're trying to bring right now, we're trying to bring an e-commerce for stationery office supply that's provide convenience, provide availability, and provide cost reduction. We've managed to secure about 50,000 SKUs with a dispatch regionally, and we've managed to align ourselves with logistic partners who are able to fulfill this requirement. When we talk about the segment in UAE, we have about 814,000 kids in UAE in school. We've got about 109,000 university students, and we've got about 240,000 SMEs. Those are our target customers, and we see there is market which means an opportunity for us. Okay, our competitive advantage, we've got more than 50,000 items, SKUs. We've got the capability to source from top tier suppliers in the region here, which guaranteeing a relation with is not an easy job. And we've got the capability to locally dispatch in the whole MENA region through our suppliers. Okay, when we talk about competition, we can see Office One UAE, which is one of the close competitors around here, and they offer about 2,500 items only. They do hybrid model, like store and online. We see Quick Office, who does only online with a smaller number of items, and we see Al-Garaj and Al-Furqan, who are like all the school sort of stationary groups which do retailing, and they've added online channel right now. Okay. Our business model is like, we get about up to 70% discount from our suppliers, in which 5% will go for logistic and payment, and we'll be able to offer our customers up to 5% or 10% discount. Okay, the total addressable market in UAE here is about 1.2 million users. 1.2 million users, that does purchase of about 1.6 billion dirham every year. That's half of the figure that I had in the beginning of the presentation, because we did not include the government and the enterprise, which the purchase mechanism is a bit complicated. The target market is about 157 million dirhams, and we are intending to make a revenue of 16 million dirham within the next 2 to 3 years. That comes into a net profit about 2 million or 1.6 million dirham net profit within 2 to 3 years. That's about 10% of our target market. And this is just the start. UAE, then we can move to GCC and MENA. We are looking for $500,000 to start. That's about 200 million. That will break even within the end of the 3 years.
How do you manage your inventory when you're integrating suppliers? Is it real time? So let's say, or do you, how do you manage it? That's my main question.
Yeah, well, we are in the dispatch. We've developed the system in order to have Aramex as a logistic partner with us. And based on that, our e-commerce system, Aramex, and the vendor system are going to talk to each other in order to arrange the dispatch. Our agreement with Aramex also could handle at a later stage a caging facility or a sort of stocking when we figured out their fast movable items. Does this address your question?
The question I have is basically, I'm assuming the channel that you're going through is online, correct?
It's online.
So if I make a purchase online, and how do you ensure that the stock is available at the supplier side? Do I have to wait until Aramex goes and checks with the supplier? Does that make sense?
No, our system integrates with the inventory of the supplier.
So it integrates.
We make sure that the stock is available before we offer it to our users.
But that answers the question. Thank you.
Also something a little bit related to inventory. So you said that we're going to stock 50,000 SKUs. That's a lot. So how do you plan to roll it out? Are you going to start by offering a few kind of items, or from the start you're going to offer a full selection of the 50,000 items you are mentioning? And how do you plan to finance them? Obviously you're raising capital, but it's capital intensive. It's a lot of capital to stock capital.
Okay. Maybe I'm not very clear about that. We're not stocking the 50,000 items. We are listing the 50,000 items. The stock lies with our suppliers, but we make sure before these items are offered to the users, there's enough quantities. I mean, system talks to each other. We know that if we're offering 100 items of this specific SKU, then the 100 items are there before we open them.
I hope you can hear me. I wanted to know what are the operating margins as compared to the offline market?
Okay, you could get, well, if you really work hard, you could start with 30% from, if you get top 10 provider, you can start with 30%. As you progress into your quarter, then you could move into 35% or 40%. There are big retailers here who get 40%. Okay, subtracting the payment and logistic, which costs between 5 to 7%. So, and any sort of discount or offers, you're talking about operating margin of 15%, 12 to 15%.
Other question?